Hello everyone, Peaceful here, and welcome back to another awesome video. Today, I'm joined by Devin, an awesome community member. Devin, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, thanks so much. Yeah, my name's Devin, and live in Colorado. Got back into MetaZoo. I found out about maybe like a week, 2 weeks after the Kickstarter released, and saw the pictures, and definitely became super, super obsessed. So just been all about building decks since.
Yeah, cool. Alright, so today we're here for the first video of an awesome new kind of series where I'll be featuring a community member and their creative deck list. So today I have Devin's awesome Flamelight Headless deck. Would you like to give us a really quick breakdown of your deck?
Yeah, thanks so much. And I felt so flattered too whenever you saw or you said that you liked it so much. So again, thank you for that. Definitely a really good compliment. Basic breakdown. I mean, I kind of only play with cards that I've pulled, stuff like that, just because that's a lot of the fun for me is just making the best with what you have. So some of the stuff might seem a little out of place or a little more like, oh, why would you do this instead of that? So that's why. But basic premise, headless synergy, kind of focused with your Nun, your Annie, coal miner, yada yada. But the main breakdown is just big damage with removing lots of burn counters with Headless Annie, working your coal miner in and using cheap aura cost jack-o'-lantern bombs, and then yeah, bringing them, saving everybody with your foos and Hell's Gate. Kind of keeps everybody in the game there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of just, the cards that I had there, I was like, this seems like a really cool idea, tweaked it a little bit, and so that's just kind of what we ended up with.
Yeah, cool. And I played you a bit yesterday, last night, a few rounds with this
Mhm.
deck, and it did some really cool stuff with Coal Miner in particular. So I'm curious if you have any insight, in your opinion, on how you go about playing it. Like how long do you wait before doing Coal Miner and Lightning the Bottle for a board wipe? What's your overall, would you say, approach to playing the card?
So really like with coal miners, and a lot of the stuff it comes down to me just like playing for fun. So I'm trying to like develop the competitive aspect of it and figure out like the best ways to go about things. So with coal miner, I really like to either A have plenty of aura out and or between aura facts whatever to have two in hand to get either two of him out really quickly so I can kind of double up on my dynamite tokens. So optimal would be get him out, leave one kind of fatigued, and then be able to get another coal miner out next game, waking both of those up. One would wake up, lightning in a bottle, the other. You're going to have four dynamite tokens. And then either or can attack. So that's one thing I like about him. Like, even if you put out your dynamite tokens with coal miner, and then you get minimal or what's the name? The one that puts them to sleep. Oh my gosh, not
Morpheus?
metamorphosis, but
Yeah.
Morpheus. Yeah. So like if he gets put to sleep or something, you can still get another coal miner out there to destruct his.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm trying to still fine tune it and everything, play more games, get stuff in, and see exactly kind of when the most optimal time for me to mess with him is. But I really don't bring him out unless I have at least one or two lightning in a bottles, or I can get a second coal miner out the next hand.
Cool. Yeah, and just for anyone who wants to play this deck or play variation of it, what fourth wall items do you normally run with this?
So on this one, I've got Cross and Coal. So Cross is for the Headless Nun there. It gives her an extra 10 damage on her. So puts her up to 30 with that. And then, if you've got your nighttime out, that's another 10. So you got a 40 attack 2 drop that's a spirit. So it's, a decent little one. Plus you've got her bonuses. In this deck, I don't use her power too much, Reveal Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, occasionally it might come into play, but you still get that bonus of the plus 30 if a light page was dealt damage. So you've got the potential of up to, 70 damage on a 2-drop. So that's pretty decent there.
Yeah.
Um, and then, what was it you said right before that? Sorry.
Uh,
Well,
I maybe we are
I
talking
lost
about
my train of thought
coal.
too.
Maybe about coal.
Oh yeah, and then Cole. So, and then you got Cole for Headless Coal Miner, just a basic 25 bonus damage. So yeah, he's in my opinion such a good. I mean, there's obviously you've got stuff like Gassy and stuff that's still a 4 drop, but I mean, if you're not running a Gassy deck and you're kind of running that synergy with like Jack o' Lantern Bomb and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
then I mean, for a 4 drop, if you've got Nighttime out, which I do run 2 of those to try to get that out quick. I mean, that's 100 damage that you're running on a 4 drop, so that's pretty good. And he's a spirit, so I like to run him in
Yeah.
connection with the Jack o' Lantern Bombs are kind of the play in with the whole Headless synergy. Really good card, in my opinion. A lot of people argue it's kind of Fireball could be a little better because you can direct to caster, which is nice. Um, but with this deck, where I'm kind of running the Headless Annie, the whole point is for me to apply counters. I don't really care where the counters are going, because if I can weaken the beasties with all these, the Headless synergy makes these 1 drop. So, 1 drop, 50 damage, applies burn, really strong card in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
when you have the Headless cards out there. Can take out a lot of beasties, and then your Headless Annie there gets, if you do her power, which doesn't fatigue her, she gets an extra 10 off each counter removed. So it's kind of, I like that combo there.
Yeah. And speaking of this deck being about like counters and applying counters, I'm curious about Feu Follet because it's a card I really think it's a really cool design. In your eyes,
Yeah.
do you mainly use it as like a cheap evasion to apply some burn and deal some damage, or do you ever use its power?
So yeah, so for me, kind of coming back to I play the cards that I'm dealt, and
Mm-hmm.
so I have, whenever I put this deck together, I've only pulled like maybe 1 to 3 Smoky Spirits, which I was using in another deck. And so when I was kind of going through everything, I was like, you know what? I mean, who is a good, like, she is a decent card to apply some or to apply some counters if if you're in that situation. But yeah, for me, I run 5 Foos in here to essentially kind of be the protection for my Annie, because aside from her her traits, she is a little on the weaker end for a 5 drop. I mean, 55 damage with no way to boost her from terror or anything like that, no fourth walls.
Mm-hmm.
So she can hit so hard, but she is a little on the weaker end. That extra 5 will save her a lot of times. But yeah, my Foo is really to save my kind of pitch hitters whenever I'm in a tough spot and I really need them to be around for next hand.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll ideally I want to have 2 Fillets out before I play Headless Annie.
So
The coal
definitely,
miners can kind of take it a little bit, and I mean they are still as weak, but I don't know. I get more concerned about my Headless Annie. I'm not really sure why.
yeah, it's
Just the way
definitely
I guess.
definitely a bit more vulnerable than Coal Miner or Feu Follet since it doesn't have evasion like Spirit.
Yeah,
I
true.
think it's the only beast in your deck that doesn't have evasion because the Guardian Angel has flight,
Yeah,
and then everything else has
yeah.
Spirit. Uh,
And that's another one that kind of is just a standout. I feel like the Guardian Angel could seem a little out of place, but in my opinion, really strong card. And like I said, just kind of one of the ones that I drew. So
mhm.
I was like, you know what? That's another really good protection card. So
Yeah,
we'll throw that.
and it can even apply the burn,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
good.
exactly.
It's really good versus tokens like against Dingwell, or if you can get them to be dark or spirit through like chaos
Mhm.
potions or like Headless Nun. Yes, really
Yeah.
fun card. All right.
Yeah, and then you can kind of combine that with the headless to turn them into dark. And
Yep.
yeah.
And I think finally the last card to address, because I know you touched on Headless Annie about how powerful it can be and be your heavy hitter. Uh, Hell's Gate is another powerful choice card that doesn't always show up, but
Hmm.
can be really huge, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Hell's Gate, in my opinion, can definitely be kind of a make it or break it, because I mean, a lot of people will kind of depend on one, let me go ahead and get this out, because I mean, if you beef Headless Annie up to, if you're able to get her up to over 100 damage and you're sitting here and they know you've got lightning in a bottle, they're going to want that gone. So, that helps out a lot. And I love the synergy of Hell's Gate with Feu Follet because I will actually use Feu Follet to protect my Hell's Gate because people do get afraid of it because they know.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and then if they do end up like, okay, well, I'm going to go for this Hell's Gate, I'll lure with Feu Follet, stop that, and then I'll just bring Feu back.
Yeah. Feu Follet and Hell's Gate's a really fun synergy because it says you place it into your limbo, so it doesn't actually get destroyed, so it doesn't get sent to the afterlife with Hell's Gate, so it's like one of the only beasties you can repeatedly bring it back, and it just seems like a really strong synergy, especially since it has Fleet. Just if you have one Feu Follet, you can pretty much, like, not necessarily infinitely protect Feu, but per attack.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's my goal. I mean, if I can have 2 to 3 Feus out there, I'll start dropping any other beasties that I want, especially with Hell's Gate if it's already out, because at that point it's kind of, you know, that you can get a Feu back.
Mm-hmm. And on the win condition side of things, do you think, like, for the most part you win games with like Headless Annie and Coal Miner, or do you sometimes go for like the more grindy game where you win with like Headless Nuns or even Feus?
Usually what I've noticed is, so like my main focus is Headless Annie, but people, I've noticed when you get 2 coal miners out, and if you've got 2 Feus out, they start to really get panicky.
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, I mean, if you've got two Feus and 2 coal miners out, I couldn't break down the percentage right now, but with 2 night times being my only Terra, there's a good chance I'm going to have that bonus. Plus, I'm going to have my coal.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be hitting for 100. That's going to be 200 hitting beasties that are applying burn.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you get that out and you've got Feu to stop it, plus it's a spirit anyways, even if they do manage to attack it, it's really unnerving if they don't have a way to get rid of a spirit. And then I'll just start beating down with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is an awesome deck. Thank you so much for coming on to tell everyone about it. Do you have anything you want to, like, shout out or say?
Thanks so much. I mean, I really just want to shout out the entire MetaZoo community in general. I mean, it's I always was obviously a huge Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh kid, but I haven't played TCG since probably like 2005, 2006 was the last time I really played in any type of tournament that was with Yu-Gi-Oh. So this is, I mean, it's so exciting, so rejuvenating for me. It feels exactly like when I was 10 years old, buying these cards, doing all that. So it's just, exciting. Anyone who's on just the collecting side who hasn't played and's thinking about it, I definitely 120% recommend it. I'm sure you do too. I know how much you enjoy the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I mean, the gist of it. I just want to see as much playing as possible so we can all just get out there, get all these tournaments going, and before long it's going to be common at every game shop.
Yeah, well, once again, thank you so much, Devin, for sharing your really cool creative deck and giving us a deck tech on it. For everyone watching, I hope you really enjoyed. I hope you take a chance at trying out Devin's deck, and I will see you all later.